It's when we have lack of acknowledgement, lack of boundaries, and lack of self-allowances that we feel helpless and undervalued. We have to become aware, be proactive about our limits and our intentional allowances to become empowered and confident. And welcome back to another season of the Seasons of Self-Actualization mini podcast, where we have 10 to 20 minute digestible episodes every Monday here for you at 7 Central European time that will bring perspective, action tips, and accountability by just watching and being involved in this community. And if you're new, make sure to say hi down below. Let me know how you're currently doing today. In fact, let's take a moment to just check in with ourselves. So ask yourself how you're doing. Connect with your body a little bit. I'm feeling a little bit jittery. I think it's just because I have a lot of nervous excitement for this first episode, and I'm just excited to be diving into today's topic with you. I have here with me this empowerment elixir, and I thought it would be super cute if this season, if we would do themed drinks. So I will put the recipe of whatever drink I'm going to be drinking in the podcast episode on my short format, and you can find that on TikTok, you can find that on my YouTube shorts, you can find that on my Instagram reels. I'll have this all linked in the description below. Let's just dive into this episode. Normally I would start off with an affirmation, but I've recently learned that research has been showing that positive affirmations may actually contribute to some people feeling worse about themselves. And I heard this first on an interview on impact theory with Jewel, who's a singer-songwriter. I've been listening to her for years, love her, but she had such an interesting insight, and since I've heard it, I've seen it more and more. She said that instead of trying to tell herself something that doesn't feel true to her system, it doesn't make her system relax, she tries to get closer and closer to a statement that feels like the truth to her, that does relax her system. If we are telling ourselves, especially those of us who struggle with self-esteem or self-confidence, if we're telling ourselves a narrative over and over again and we have a certain worldview, then just telling ourselves the opposite of that, aka the affirmation, is usually not gonna be that helpful because it doesn't resonate with us. We don't believe it. She gave the example that she used to be like, I don't know what I'm doing. She would get overwhelmed, and this was a thought mostly stemmed from fear, but it also was a belief that she just didn't know what she was doing. The affirmation that would be the opposite of what she was saying would be I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, which wasn't true either. It didn't calm her system. So she used that phrase as a guide to start with and moved closer till she found a phrase to let her whole system relax. And that phrase for her in this scenario was, I will figure it out. This was something that she truly believed because she had proof of herself figuring things out in the past, and she was confident about that. So even though she didn't know what she was doing, she knew that she would figure it out. And the fear was calmed with the truth, not with the opposite statement of the fear. So today we're going to try a neutral positive affirmation. I actually couldn't find any online, interestingly enough, so I came up with one myself that I thought might resonate with you today. So let's tune into ourselves and let this sink in. The affirmation is, I am putting in small efforts to better equip myself with tools that will help get me through anything that comes my way. I am putting in small efforts to better equip myself with tools that will help me get through anything that comes my way. I am putting in small efforts to better equip myself with tools that will help me get through anything that comes my way. So in today's episode, we are going to be talking about how we can start to feel more empowered and more confident in our day-to-day lives, even when we are feeling so far away from it. I'm going to break down ways you can start to feel closer to that today. So I have found that the first step to empowerment is acknowledgement. That something isn't supporting your well-being, because without awareness, we cannot be intentional, right? Without awareness and acknowledgement, we cannot be intentional about what to do about it. Without being intentional, we aren't being proactive. And without being proactive, we are prone to being reactive. If we are reactive, we often don't feel we are able to rely on ourselves or our circumstances the way that we need. And therefore, we're neither confident within ourselves nor our circumstances. So we're not confident in feeling safe. We're not confident in feeling okay in our day-to-day lives. If we're not proactive in the boundaries that we place in certain scenarios, if we are not proactive in calculating a little bit ahead of our needs, if we are not proactive in determining which actions you engage or don't engage in, you remove the option completely of reliability. Do you know another word for reliability? It's confidence. Without being proactive, we aren't even giving ourselves the choice to decide something because it's already happening, and when we're unable to access the most calm and collected state of being to handle things the way that we would ideally, then we're not feeling like we can rely on ourselves. And if you're here, I get it. Oh my gosh, I get it. Like, when you're here, it's so heavy. And that's exactly why we are here together, because I want to share with you how I personally take steps again when I'm here to empower myself. Because empowering yourself is one of the greatest skills that you will ever build. It's kind of like a little way to have resilience every single day. One of the things that took me a long time to realize was how much I was unaware and out of control of my own energy in this present moment. Like, regardless of the things that I struggled with in the past, like this moment, how aware are you of where you place your energy? What I mean by this is that I wasn't completely in tune with my own opinions, my own boundaries, enough to be able to protect my peace or to be able to rely on myself. So I used to be really unaware of my triggers, my limits, my own emotions, and even what I was thinking about myself. I was taking each day as it came and battling my way through it. I'm a warrior. It was a battle, but it was a big challenge every day in my own mind and in my circumstances. And I started turning to unhealthy coping strategies just to get through it. And it pushed me further and further into having more struggles with my self-image, with my self-esteem, negative thoughts, extreme sadness regularly. I struggled with so many other things as well, and I just kept running away from it all and suppressing it in my mind because it was just too much to face. But what ended up happening was that I became reactive to things, and it made it really difficult for me to empower myself. So I'm going to give you the ultimate secret to empowering yourself. Besides acknowledging what it is, one of the most empowering things I did in my life was say, okay, I'm going to take responsibility of becoming a proactive permitter. So what does that mean? I am the permitter of everything that does or doesn't come into my space, into my energy, into my peace. And to give things permission or not, you have to create the awareness around each interaction, what it does to you, and decide whether or not you want to permit it into your life. Or maybe it's the opposite end of the spectrum, right? Maybe you are always pushing yourself to the point where you are constantly burning out and you're I am going to allow myself rest. You know what I mean? You are the permitter. The more that I understood how much I'm giving myself permission or not allowing myself things, the more that I understood that it contributed greatly to how I felt at the end of each day when I put that attention there and was okay, I noticed that this is happening, cause and effect, what needs to happen with how much permission I give this area of my life. What are going to be the new limits, the boundaries in this situation, or allowing myself to do that I wasn't allowing before? It was the beginning of a journey for me to come closer to my most authentic self. It's when we have lack of acknowledgement, lack of boundaries, and lack of self-allowances that we feel helpless and undervalued. We have to become aware, be proactive about our limits and our intentional allowances to become empowered and confident. So for this week's homework, I have some questions I came up with to help you identify key areas in your life to reflect on. So the first one is, what is something that is draining in your life right now to the point that it even brings you further away from feeling like yourself? In what way are you going to be able to limit its access to you and your peace? Does it mean walking away? Or does it mean leaning into something? In what way are you going to turn this into an empowering moment instead of a helpless one? If there are more areas in your life that you can apply this to, it's really good to have it clear for yourself before you have to deal with it, and you don't have to rely on yourself in a more vulnerable and reactive position. So to close off today's episode, I'm going to do some guided deep breaths with you so that you have a moment to connect with yourself again, make it full circle, and think about the questions that I just asked. So begin by exhaling all your air out your mouth. Slowly breathe in for 4 counts. Hold for 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slowly exhale for 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do it again. Exhale all your air. Breathe in for 4. Hold for 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slowly exhale for 8. 6, 7, 8. Last time. Exhale. Inhale for 4. Hold for 7, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slowly exhale for 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I appreciate you so much for watching this video, and I want to invite you to leave your answers to the homework down below, as well as a question or comment on something you liked, learned, or want to share. I have left all my most relevant resources down below for you to start filling more of these messages and practices into your daily life so that you can get closer and closer to your most authentic self and reach self-actualization. Much, much, much love from the Netherlands, wherever you are. I see you showing up. You did a great job and I'm proud of you. I will see you bright and early next Monday morning. Bye!